Aloha, everybody, and welcome back to part 9 of Sonic Boom Fire and Ice. And I have to ask the question right up front, why are you watching this video? You know it came out today, right? Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch is out today! That means you can play around with Sonic the Hedgehog, Mega Man, Simon Belmont, Solid Snake, King K. Rool, the Inklings, in a brand new Smash Bros. Game right now. And for some reason, you chose to turn on the YouTube and start watching the great Clement in a freaking Let's Play. What the hell is wrong with you? And don't tell me it's because it's midnight, okay? Most GameStops and whatnot break street date by midnight so that you can get the game as early as possible. So you should be in a lineup or something, not watching this YouTube video. Come on, shame on you. Watching me. I don't need the clicks today. Turn off the video, you scrub. And I know this kind of dates the video. If you're watching this months from now because you were looking up a Fire and Ice playthrough, well, you should know Smash Bros. Ultimate came out today. Also, the Game Awards were yesterday, and how about that show, huh? Oh, that Joseph Ferris, he is a card. I can't believe they announced, insert game here, at the Game Awards. That was crazy. What a reveal. Whoa! But yeah. Most people are going to be asking the question that they always ask on every single video anyway, and that question being, why are you uploading a video at midnight, Clement? Ugh. You don't make any sense, Clement. I have to go to bed. I have to go to sleep. Hey man, nothing's stopping you from going to sleep. You know, the great thing about YouTube videos is that they kind of stay on the system so that you can watch them whenever you want, unless I'm like getting, you know, content ID'd or whatever, but I doubt that's going to happen if the other parts have been fine. And maybe my channel will get deleted in the future because Sega decides they don't want me playing every single Sonic game for the channel, and then they catch wind that I've played every single game for like 8 years, and then they go, what? This guy's been playing all of our games for 8 years? Shut that shit down! And then the Great Clement is gone and dead, and the only reason you'll know is because I'll tell you on Twitter, so, But the point is, yeah, I upload at midnight, so what? You can watch it whenever you want. You don't need to freak out about it. Some people are night owls, and I like to be considerate of those kinds of people, because maybe I'm a night owl too. Maybe I stay up long into the night, and I wake up really late into the afternoon or late morning, you know? Because that's just the way I roll. That's just the way I roll. So just watch the video whenever, man. Just watch the video whenever. It's weird. Every time I upload videos at midnight, there's always that guy. Why are you uploading at midnight? Who cares? Don't watch it. Watch it whenever you want. What does it matter? It doesn't even matter! Back to the game. Welcome back to Sonic Boom Fire and Ice. We got ourselves the Donkey Kong Country Barrels. We got ourselves the fuses. And one thing I didn't really take mention of in the video itself, I did with the thumbnail and the description. I love the challenge rooms in this world because the challenge rooms are just a very lovely mock-up of Dr. Eggman's face. So when you go to a challenge room to get yourself a trading card piece, you get to look at Dr. Eggman's smiling mug. And that's a good hut. That's a good hut. Whoever was the architect of these huts, mwah, brilliant. Look at that hut. Look at that hut. Yeah, that's a good hut. That is a very, very good hut, that Dr. Eggman hut. Also, I have to question if Dr. Eggman built that and it leads to a place with treasure in the background. Why didn't Eggman grab all that treasure? Then again, maybe it is Eggman's treasure. You know, we always ask with every single game, how is Eggman getting all these resources to, like, create all of these robot armies and build all these robot bases so that he could just, you know, infest the Lost Hex with, like, 7 different bases in all the various worlds and zones? How rich is Eggman? I kind of liked in Sonic Riders Zero Gravity when it was shown that, like, he was in charge of, like, a robotics, like, facility, and most people didn't know it was Dr. Eggman who was in charge. So, like, Sonic and them are, like, chasing the one robot who's got the gravity stone, and then they find out Eggman's in charge of the place, and they're like, what? Hey, that's how Eggman makes his money, man. Of course he makes robotics for the regular folk. He doesn't just make robots to conquer the world, he makes them for consumer use. That's what I assume. Feel free to post your own theories on how Dr. Eggman makes money. Or just repeat the phrase that I like to live by. It's a video game! It doesn't need to make sense, goddammit. How does Dr. Eggman survive explosions when his Eggmobile blows up? I don't know. He just does, okay? He just does. I like this little sneaky thing. If I wasn't using the map on the bottom screen, you barely saw the pillar that Amy can hit to make it lower so that you can go down here. But if you're checking out the map, you know something's down there. How do I get down there? Take a look at your surroundings, and oh look, the floor is kind of uneven. That looks like a log. Maybe I should hit it with Amy, and boom, you figure out where the collectible is. No problem, you know? Like I said, getting 100% completion in Sonic Boom Fire and Ice is not the most demanding challenge ever, so you don't need to worry about it too much. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the Pirate World. In terms of its action stages, we do have another hovercraft segment to do. And, well, we do have a boss fight coming up in this pot. Ooh. But that's it for the Pirate World. We only have one more world to go. Which means that this playthrough is not going to end at part 10 like Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal. So that kind of surprised me. When I recorded Shattered Crystal, I assumed because I was showing the first level over and over again, the first, second, and third levels over and over again, to get all the collectibles that I couldn't get without Knuckles or Sticks. I assumed that would make the game feel longer than it actually is, and so when it was 10 parts, I was like, well then Fire and Ice is going to be like 7 parts, 8 parts. But nah, Sanzaru packed a lot of game in here. They actually packed more game in here than they did with Shattered Crystal. It's just, when you don't have gateways blocking your pathway, when you're not constantly redoing levels over and over again to find that one collectible that you missed so that you can get past the next level, you know, it just makes everything feel so much longer. That's the weirdest thing. There's less content in Shattered Crystal, but it feels so much longer than Fire and Ice. So when I was actually recording everything for Fire and Ice, and keep in mind, I'm actually cutting out loading screens and whatnot, I was surprised that this was going into part 12. The playthrough ends at part 12, and I was like, huh, Fire and Ice is a bigger game than Shattered Crystal. That's interesting. Anyway, time to fight the creepy crawly. It's boss time.
That moving radiation source is the robot we've been chasing. I bet he's covered in the stuff because he's working with Eggman.
Whoa! Yeah. Behold, buffoon bots! Ragnabot! My greatest creation! This magnificent robot will suck every gram of ragnium from the area and fuel my Eggbot racers to glorious victory against Sonic!
It's the scrap heap for us for sure!
Looks like the boss has a new favorite.
Activating ragnium magnets now. The magnets are supposed to attract ragnium, not this junk. Your eco-magnets are really harshing my mellow. You are made of fail, Ragnapot. I should have given you a name that befits your unsatisfactory performance, like Disappointedtron 20, or Botchbot, or Fiasco 500. Or better yet, D-Fekt.
Good thing the boss is fickle.
I'm leaving, D-Fekt. The very sight of you sickens me. And get a shave! You look like a hipster with that ridiculous beard.
Alrighty, folks, time to have another boss fight with D-Fekt, who somehow has used his magnetism to assemble a spider that is capable of shooting slime as well as webbing. So, that's special. It's a video game. And now we know D-Fekt's backstory. Now we know he was designed by Dr. Eggman to attract ragnium, but for some reason he attracts everything else. He attracts, like, tar and bones and ice and webbing and slime, but it can't attract ragnium for whatever reason. So Eggman's a dick, and he treats D-Fekt like shit, and D-Fekt's just trying to win his love by defeating Sonic the Hedgehog, so how about that? This spider boss is pretty simple. The first phase, he constantly tries to ram you, and when he does, he leaves a whole bunch of acid slime behind, and you'll actually take contact damage running into that acid slime, which is why I always try to stay away from it and go a completely opposite direction whenever he runs into one side, because I don't want to be anywhere near it. But I also want to leave the opening open as much as I can so that I can kind of go from left to right just fine. There are platforms in the first phase, but I almost never use them. And with the second phase, the spider just goes on the web, it shoots spider balls at you, web balls at you, and you just homing attack them to send them right back at the spider, and that's pretty much it. I'm not showing the bottom screen right now because that's going to be used in the third phase, and there's really nothing going on down there, but trust me, there is something on the bottom screen. We are seeing dirt and stuff on the bottom screen, but that'll come into play right about now. So this is where we instantly switch to Knuckles. He digs into the ground for some reason. He just instinctively thinks to do that. And we can't get back up because there's webbing preventing us from going all the way back up. And now he's shooting a whole bunch of spider balls that are connected with fire and ice elements into the dirt. So you have to use your paraloop feature in order to circle the fireballs with ice, the ice balls with fire, and he's going to keep sending out a whole bunch of badniks, a whole bunch of driller robots to try and run into you. And if you're trying to get 100% completion, you want to hold on to your 20 ring count and all that jazz, but you can still kill the robots with your own paraloop, and you can still go in the direction that they don't, and by holding the drift button, the sprint button, you can make yourself go much faster than the robots, so you should be able to outrun them no problem.
Winning! Yeah!
Really? Oh, jeez. Did we really have to reference Charlie Sheen, Sonic Boom? Because that was topical back then. Remember Charlie Sheen and hashtag winning? Oh, God. But yeah, folks, that's it for the pirate world. That was the Creepy Crawly. And previously we saw Orbot and Cubot for the first time in these Sonic Boom games, even though they're a part of the show and they're in every single episode. They weren't in Rise of Lyric, they weren't in Shattered Crystal. They finally appear in D-Fekt's backstory, Orbot and Cubot. They are a part of Sonic Boom's universe. They are Eggman's sidekicks in this continuity. So now you know if you don't watch the show. Anyway, folks, we're moving on to the next world in Part 10. See you then.
There he goes! I need to get a sample from him to prove a theory I have.
Dogpile on the robot! Dogpile on the robot!
Hold him still while I... Got it!
This seems kind of like a violation of his basic civil rights.
He's a robot, Sticks. He's got as many rights as my toaster.
Analyzing now. And... ding! I thought the little robot had some connection to Ragnium, and it turns out I was right! He's clearly had contact with the Ragnium, which Eggman was using to power his Eggbot racers.
So the question is, where did he go?
Well, I sure didn't let him go because he was adorable and having his rights violated, and I love him so much!
Okay, if we can get a tracker on him, we can follow him to the source of the Ragnium.